Hello everyone, my name is Kitetsu and welcome back to my channel. So I've done it again. I've spent 40 minutes recording a video that literally only talks about 5 things, and this video does not need to be that long, so I'm going to re-record it and I'm going to blitz through it this time. To be honest, I'm in a really good mood because I woke up this morning, looked out the window and there was snow everywhere, and I got a text from one of my colleagues saying, yep, work is shut today due to the snow. So to be honest, yep, I've just wasted 40 minutes recording a video that no one's ever going to see, but never mind, it's all good. You guys are worth it. I don't want to bore you guys to death. I kind of want to get to the point a bit more, and I'm very verbose and rambly, I can't help it, but this is the abridged version. So pretty much I wanted to do something a little bit different and just give my top 5 tips for how I save as much money with Warhammer as possible. And I know it may come across that I'm a bit of a cheapskate because I'm trying to do everything so cheap, but the truth is I'm not that rich, and Warhammer really adds up, especially when you love it as much as I do and you collect about 12 armies. So number 1 is basically quite simple. Find a stockist online who will sell stuff for 25% off. I do have to apologise if you are from, say, Australia or other regions of the world where stuff like this isn't available to you, and perhaps the whole hobby in general is just way too expensive for you. You know, there's nothing I can do about that, and, you know, I sympathise with you greatly because, picking on Australia again as an example, the prices are so overinflated there and it's just not fair. But if you are from the UK, I recommend Triple Helix Wargames, and they were kind enough to actually give me like a mini sponsorship to talk about them. But in all honesty, I approached them because I use this website all the time. I pretty much exclusively make all of my orders from them now when I'm buying new products. Recently I got all of my Nurgle demons from them, including my Great Unclean one, and I pre-ordered it and they literally had it there for me on the day of release, which was a Saturday. So I was really impressed with the service, and yeah, pretty much when it comes to their stock, they get stuff in, like, to be honest, I think all of this is more or less sold out by now, but if you're going for pre-orders, yeah, these are sold out. There we go. So the dice, for example, it will say there's one in stock. In terms of the rest of their stock on the website, they don't actually keep it in stock, and you can read all about it here. But essentially, if you make an order for something that's not on pre-order, they don't keep the stock for it, okay? So they will go and order it from the supplier, and it will take about a week to get to you. But to be honest, the discounts are so good that, to me, I would rather just wait a little bit and get those products and know that in the long run I'm going to have way more Warhammer than spend more and be impatient. But yeah, books and stuff you get 20% off, I believe, and then you get like a full 25% off all the other stuff. Like, look at this Maw Crusher, for example. I've had my eye on him for a while. £65 was pretty good anyway, but bringing him down to 48 is great. But yeah, even down to like the start collecting sets and everything, they are £37.50 instead of 50, which is absolutely fantastic. And you get a big unit like Marathi, for example. She's £80 and they're selling her for 60. So in all honesty, I don't think I would have probably got back into Warhammer if it wasn't for this website. The discount of 25% in my head makes such a big difference. Like, £60 versus 80 to me is absolutely huge, and being able to buy those start collecting sets for £37 instead of 50, it really is a big difference. And yeah, they obviously do painting supplies and they do all sorts of other stuff as well. 40k, Age of Sigmar, you know, they've pretty much got you covered, and their communication's great. So I'm pretty sure if there's something that you know they can get in stock that they don't have, you know, give them an email and they'll get straight back to you. So that is point 1. The second one is eBay. Now again, this applies mostly to people in the UK, and I assume America too, because it depends how much people just put on eBay. But if you are in the UK, you get a lot of options with eBay, and you can get loads of bargains. Like, I've managed to buy this book for £15 instead of £45, and it was still in the shrink wrap and everything. I get loads of my battle tomes online because, to be honest, the discounts always tend to be a bit less on books. I've got loads of figures cheap, including like a Lord Castellant and Brock Grungson, far cheaper. But the piece de resistance was my £5.50 Magmadroth. It was literally on the sprue, posted to me first class delivery, and had all of the instructions sent with it as well. So to be honest, it's as good as new. And this kit is £50, so I can't believe I managed to get it for £5.50. That's literally like 90% off. My advice with eBay is just to be patient, wait for things to come up, and you will find some bargains on there. You know, there's loads of just pre-loved stuff that's already painted if you don't particularly care about repainting it. Now, occasionally you'll find something really annoying with units, and you can fix that as well with eBay, because I bought the starter set of Age of Sigmar and it comes with 3 Paladin Retributors, but you need 5 for a unit, which was really frustrating. And if you bought the easy to build set, you get 2, so you could build your unit up to 5. But the issue there is you get a duplicate prime. So really you'd have to buy 2, or you'd have to try and convert the prime into a normal guy, which, I don't know, it was a little bit frustrating. It made me think I'm going to have to go and buy the full £35 box, and I'm just going to have to like throw away the other guys. Not literally throw them away, but they'd be just useless. And then you didn't get the Star Soul Maces either. So something I did on eBay was literally rebought those 3 that came in the starter set, and I bought the sprue containing the Star Soul Maces. So that pretty much cost me £21, which, although it may seem expensive for 3 figures and 2 Star Soul Maces, it's a lot cheaper than £35 for buying 5 and having 3 surplus, and it's only £1 more than buying 2 of the easy to build kits, which then wouldn't have had the Star Soul Maces either. And if another guy wasn't so determined to have bought those Star Soul Maces, they would have gone a lot cheaper too, so I think that was a bit of bad luck. But you know, just be patient, wait for these things to come up. Additionally, there are people who buy the starter sets and split them up and then sell them. So Blight War, you know, you can buy a unit of Vanguard Hunters for £13. These are units that I've bought myself off eBay, and you know, you save a lot of money because even if you buy 2 of these, it's £26, which is cheaper than the £37.50 I think it is for a box of these guys. But that applies to 40k as well. You know, people have been doing this for years. Just as a note of caution, do not buy too many units in this way, because you will find that you end up spending more than the cost of the box, and you definitely won't get all of the stuff in them. These boxes are heavily discounted already by Games Workshop, so if you think you're going to get a large number of them, just go and buy the box and you'll save far more money that way. But you know, for the rest of us, if you only want like 1 or 2 units from the box, or you really know that the other half of the army is useless and you don't want to go through the hassle of selling it, then you know, picking up the odd unit here or there can be a very good option. Okay, so number 3, this is the start collecting sets. They really are the best way to get into Warhammer. Every single box has got so many good options in, and there's tons of variety, and they are excellent value at £37.50, online at least. Right, number 4, this is like a watch this space kind of thing, because the last easy to build units that Games Workshop brought out were absolutely amazing, and you can save a ton of money with these kits, and it just depends how many more that Games Workshop bring out, but there are some that are less good value for money, and the latest 2 that came out and the Death Guard stuff are really good value for money. So I'm just going to talk about these Primaris here. The Redemptor Dreadnought is a £40 kit, and the easy to build version of it is literally more or less half price. And when I bought it out the box, I was looking at it and I thought, yeah, to be honest, it looks a little bit plasticky, it looks a bit cheap, but when you put it together, it is more than the sum of its parts, and it actually looks really good. The people who want the more advanced kit with more weapon options and more maneuverability and posability, the £40 kit is for you. But for people who want to do it cheaper, and to be honest, they don't mind the fact that you can't open the front and you get limited weapon options, then the cheaper option is for you. And to be honest, it's made of fewer parts, which in some ways actually works in its favour for some people, because it makes it very durable. My aggressors and my Redemptor Dreadnought I would quite happily chuck in a backpack without even putting them in a box. And guys, don't take that as Kitetsu's telling me to go and throw my models in a bag without protecting them. Like, no, don't go and do it. I'm not going to be responsible for you guys breaking your kits, but personally, I would happily do that with these kits because they are very tough. Especially like the tubes and piping on the back of the flamethrower kits. They're far more rigid on the easy to build ones because they're just one solid lump of plastic, basically. But yep, you can save a whole ton of money by doing that. And if you look at the original Dreadnought, that was £28, which is more expensive than the easy to build kit. And I was looking at another YouTube channel. Here he is, Super Saiyan. I'll leave the link in the description. He quite often does these good unboxings, but look at the difference in size between the original one, which is, to be honest, an ancient model anyway. It's been out since I was about 7 years old, and the new one. It absolutely dwarfs it, and it looks so much better in my opinion. And you can literally fit, he does it in this video at some point, you can literally fit a Space Marine underneath its legs. It would just walk straight underneath it, pretty much. So yeah, I'm a big fan of these kits. I really like them, and I'm really hoping they bring out more. You know, if you just want to collect Primaris and you're new to Warhammer, you want some durable kits that are good value for money, fun to play on the tabletop, you could pick up one of these Dreadnoughts, you could pick up the Aggressors, which, to be honest, I'm a massive fan of these. I love chunky, sort of heavily armoured models. You know, you can buy them for very cheap, buy them on Triple Helix Wargames, and you get them 25% off as well. You know, £18 pretty much for a Dreadnought, and £15 for the Aggressors. Then you could just go on eBay, pick up a couple of squads, and you've got a perfectly good starting force that's playable, it's going to be good fun, and it hasn't cost you the earth. The very last option I have, tip number 5, is magnetizing and converting. And obviously I've mentioned that I converted my retributors. To be honest, I don't tend to do either of these two options, but I know a lot of people save masses of money doing it. I'm a little bit boring. I tend to build stuff that's just on the box, and I don't tend to magnetize. I tend to just weld my models together with way too much glue. But there are so many ways that you can use converting and magnetizing to your advantage. For example, if you did buy the Great Unclean One kit like I did, I built the one in the middle, but it is entirely possible to have all three options from one kit. You can literally have an interchangeable head, interchangeable gut, and interchangeable arms. So if you want to take him as Rotigus in one battle, you can. If you want to take him as a Great Unclean One in the next, you can just swap the weapons over really quickly. It's a very cost-effective way to do it, and it's very easy to do. There's loads of guides and tutorials on how to magnetize, where to buy the magnets from, and stuff like that. And in terms of converting, there's a lot of kits on the Games Workshop website that are very old and very expensive and resin, and there are tons of people who will buy just a current plastic box and convert their figures using bits from other kits that they haven't used, or maybe using styrene or whatever it might be. There's tons of ways of doing it, and you can have a highly individual and personalized army for far, far cheaper than it would be to buy the actual official models. So anyway guys, there are my 5 tips. I'm hoping I've cut this down by at least half in this video. Hit that like button, don't forget to subscribe if you're new. You can support me on Patreon, and don't forget to check out Triple Helix Wargames, because that's pretty much where I buy absolutely everything new nowadays, because the savings are just too good to ignore. I do like supporting my local store, and in all honesty I tend to go there and buy a lot of my paints, but to me it's a question of what I can afford, and for that reason I always go for the cheapest option I can. And to be honest, if other shops can sell it that cheap, I'm pretty sure Games Workshop can too, but I don't want to get into that argument. I know they have to pay to run the stores, I know they have to pay for designers and artists, and there's a lot of costs involved, so I'm not going to get involved in that. But anyway, I hope you found something useful from this, and I will see you guys really soon in the next video.